Oh hey, the one and only Dusty Bottoms here, founder of Kingdom Trucking Academy. In this week's video, we're going to be discussing tips on passing a passenger Class B CDL test. So let's get started. A Class A CDL is usually the hardest CDL test to pass in the United States. Class B is relatively easy. Now, Class B and Class A have similar pre-trip tests as far as the truck portion goes. Now, just a little bit of information, since the new modernized test, you really don't have to do much on the trailer. So a Class B and a Class A are very similar now. Well, kind of like a Class B, a passenger vehicle, a Class B passenger vehicle, that means anything that's 26,001 pounds or heavier, is in the same boat. However, there are some differences in doing a Class B passenger as well as Class B school bus versus your Class A and your Class B tests. So I'm going to go over the things you'll want to know before you test for a Class B passenger vehicle. The first thing you're going to want to know when testing for a Class B passenger vehicle is this. Now, with the new modernized testing, you start with in-cab. On a Class B passenger, before you begin with the in-cab, I got this tip from one of the examiners at the state of Kansas.
A little game called Just a Tip. Just for a second.
And he told me this. Before you go in and do your in-cab, because you have to enter the passenger door of a passenger vehicle, because that's a unique item and you do need to inspect that, the best way to do this is before you get in and do your in-cab is that you do the passenger door. Again, I reiterate, this is a unique item. So you're going to approach it and you'll tell the examiner, before I get in to do my in-cab, I'm going to inspect my passenger door. So what are the things I'm going to inspect? Well, first, I always tell my students, before you do anything, I always have my students, and this is one of our copyrighted parts of our curriculum, is do general overview. The general overview is nothing on my passenger door is cracked, damaged, loose, and it works properly. It opens and shuts. Now, I'm not going to get into the nuances, but you'll want to do your steps, your passenger steps. You want to do the seal. You'll want to do your handles. You'll want to do the step lights. You want to do your rails. Those are just a few things that you want to make sure you cover before you get in your vehicle. Now, once you get in the vehicle, then you'll do your in-cab. Oh hey, the one and only Dusty Bottoms, founder of Kingdom Trucking Academy and the creator of the Kingdom Driver Training Program. The Kingdom Driver Training Program is the curriculum we use at Kingdom Trucking Academy. We have maintained a 100% passing rate using the Kingdom Driver Training Program. The Kingdom Driver Training Program is a complete set of 9 comprehensive videos. You can purchase all 9 videos at kingdomtruckingacademy.com. Each video is designed for the requirements needed to pass your CDL exam. So follow me as I guide you through each stage of your CDL exam. You can purchase each video at kingdomtruckingacademy.com for $49.99. or the complete set for $299.99. That's a great price. These videos are some of the most comprehensive videos today on the market. Our curriculum is trademarked for a reason, because Kingdom Trucking Academy is the standard. Everyone else is just second place. So go to kingdomtruckingacademy.com to get your videos today. Roll on, truckers, roll on. The second thing you'll want to know on your passenger vehicle is whether or not you have air brakes, hydraulic brakes, electric brakes. All 3 of these are different brake tests. And it is common in a passenger vehicle that you could have one of these three. So you need to know these things. Third thing is, I always tell my students, once you finish the in-cab, most of the time in a Class B or Class A, you're gonna get out of the vehicle. Now, what I always have my students do is do the light test check. That is something new on the modernized test. Some states will have you start with that, and the inspector or the examiner will do that and initiate that themselves. However, a lot of states don't do that. So we cover our bases. Once we've completed the in-cab, I always have my students do light inspection test. But before we do the light inspection test, which will require us to get out of the vehicle, we want to do the passenger equipment test, all the safety equipment. Remember, on a passenger vehicle, you have your big safety mirror, you have your passenger rows, you want to make sure your aisles are clean and clear, you have all your passenger seats, you want to make sure that the seat belts work properly on them, all your windows, you want to make sure they're not cracked, damaged, or loose. Also, you need to know how many emergency exits are equipped on your particular passenger vehicle. You need to state that, and then you need to point out which ones there are. You need to state that and then point to where each emergency exit is located. And lastly, you want to make sure your emergency exit alarm is working properly. These things you're going to want to make sure you do. And again, these are differences that you'll need to know on a passenger vehicle versus a regular Class B vehicle or Class A. Lastly, when you go outside of your vehicle and you're beginning the exterior pre-trip inspection, you will always start with your approach. Now, most of the time, on a Class A or a Class B, you're going to do your pre-trip inspection on the driver's side of the vehicle. However, in a passenger vehicle, you're going to do your entire pre-trip exterior inspection on the passenger side of the vehicle. However, there are some things still on the driver's side you need to make sure you check, like your exterior driver mirror. Now, if this is a school bus, you need to make sure you read the school bus sign that's on top on your front approach. You also need to make sure if on the driver's side, you have a school bus arm that comes out, you need to point that out as well, because that is a unique item. So again, on the exterior, you're going to start with your approach, you're going to move down the passenger side of the vehicle, and then you're going to do your rear. And these are some of the major differences in doing a passenger vehicle versus doing a regular straight truck Class B. I hope you found this informative. If you did, remember, give us a like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. Once again, I'm your trucking messiah, the one and only Dusty Bottom. Roll on, truckers, roll on.